Hello, internet friends, and welcome to episode number 200. And yes, it's still the old intro, okay? I get it. I know it's still the old intro. Both my artists are actually in chat right now if you were hanging out before the show started on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. If you're listening to this on audio only, it's going to sound kind of funny because I'm there. It's, yeah, we'll get there, all right? We will get to the new crazy tomfoolery intro eventually, but today is the pre-BlizzCon special, as this reads down below here. Additionally, of course, big shout out yet again to Wowhead for helping put together and make sure this show can keep rolling. I was just bringing this up, prepping for the show, of course, here. I did not notice, obviously, BlizzCon is upon us. This is the pre-BlizzCon special. If you go to the news tab right here and you want only all that juicy BlizzCon news here, you can toggle off like everything else, or only toggle on the games specifically that you would like. You can just toggle in only the Blizzard posts. That way you will keep up to date with everything that is coming out from BlizzCon only. And there is a lot of leaks, and we will talk about them on the show today. Don't you worry. But again, of course, the show is sponsored and brought to you in part by the lovely folks over at Corsair and Elgato. They have sent me a whole bunch of wonderful goodies, and if you want to get some bits and bobs and pieces and part for yourself, the new Void Elite just came out. The new Virtuoso headset just came out. If you're looking for anything to complete your build or put together a new one for 9.0 or Overwatch 2 or Diablo 2 Remastered or Diablo 4 or whatever else we're talking about today on the show, links, of course, are down below. Use the code JustFinalBoss, all one word, at checkout after you go through that link, and I can get you free standard shipping and 10% off your whole order for Corsair peripherals or Elgato gear. So go check that out. Link's in YouTube description. Link is down below the Twitch page. I don't know where you'll find it audio only. Just come over to the Twitch page. That's where it is. But thank you very much to those that are supporting the show, the stream, and everything in between, keeping it going. 200 episodes strong. Here's the 200 more. I don't know. People are gonna be like, where are the spec shows at? It's like, well, BlizzCon. That's where they are. But today's guests, we are sitting down with, already in the spirit of BlizzCon, in the hotel room himself, there's Big Dan. Hi, Mr.GM.
I'm here. How's it going? I'm in the hotel room. I'm in LA.
How is the
It's
jet lag?
warm. I'm tired. It's horrendous. Woke up at 4 in the morning and been up ever since because, 8 hours behind just feels so good.
Wait, you haven't slept yet?
No. We landed like yesterday at some point. It was 5 p.m. and then we went to sleep at 8 p.m. and I woke up at 4 a.m. So really good. Yep. Can't wait.
Are you trying to reset today and just force yourself through? You got dinner planned after this?
We got like loads of Gatorade.
Oh, okay. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's it. Gatorade and coffees. It's keeping us going.
But I will see you in a couple of days, which seems weird, even though I just saw you like not even that long ago.
Yeah, like a month ago.
Yeah.
Literally a month ago. That's what it was weird. I was just like walking around. I was like, I was only here a month ago, but it feels like forever.
Yeah.
I was getting out my Gatorade out of the fridge.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Joining you without weird words that you'll say that no one will understand. There's the lovely Hazel. Hello.
Hello. I have weird words.
Wait, what weird words do you have?
I could fit in. Oh, on the spot?
I don't mean.
A lot of pressure. I didn't specifically prepare them.
No, that's totally fine. You did totally trip me up with changing your hair just the other day.
I am so amazed that you caught that because I have this is brand new. I'm a vegetable. I'm Carrot Top, but like more accurate.
Wait. Well, that's actually true because you are the top of a carrot. It's green.
He was doing it wrong all those years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. Oh, examples of weird words. I like the Azerite system. Uh-oh, chat's getting on you. Have you said that before?
Nobody has.
You can't prove it.
Oh. Go back to all of her YouTube logs. Go back and see. And then come back.
Nothing.
Yeah, at her with a clip on Twitter or something like that. Yeah. HazelNuttyGames. Prove that she liked. Don't say that. Oh, no.
I liked everything. Everything.
Even the Azerite system?
Yeah. It's fine. It's not forever, right?
It's true. Hopefully it's just loot becomes loot again. We'll get to that, what we're doing right now. But Hazel, we're on you currently. And for those of you that are out there that do not know who your face is and what your face is on the internet, say hello to the internet and what do you do and what you dabble in?
Hello, I'm Hazel. I play WoW. I do YouTube and Twitch, so just like everybody else that you've ever seen online. I don't do anything particularly special. I talk a lot about my hobbies both in and out of the game. Inside the game, I am a filthy casual. I raid heroic. I don't raid mythic like these cool kids. I raid heroic. I like to do a little raided arena whenever I can scrape up teammates, which is never. And outside of that, I just collect a bunch of stuff. I'm all about the pet and the mount collecting. So I keep busy. Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. You have an IRL pet collection behind you also, it seems.
I do. There's a fish over there that might wander by. There's a cat that's asleep at a shop that might wander by. And there's a dog that you will never see because he doesn't like me.
Oh, I was going with the Blizzard stuffies, but those work too.
Oh, that too, yeah. YouTube is lonely work, so you try to surround yourself with as many effigies that project friendliness as you can just to block the void, you know.
It's true.
I like that. Tutron calling you out, though, what you just said. I'm a casual, I raid heroic, and then everyone cries in LFR. I think that's a little more than casual. Hazel, you're cutting yourself a little short there. Come on.
We raid seasonally, which is actually really nice. We'll raid when a raid comes out, and we'll raid until we clear it, and then we'll farm like once, and then everybody's so over it immediately. Oh. Nobody wants to farm anymore because everybody's got their gear for Mythic Plus, so then everybody just goes to play like Path of Exile or something.
Oh. Or there could be Dan, who's just only playing Classic, right? Right, Dan? Who are you?
Hi. Mr.GM. I'm on YouTube and Twitch and not Mixer. And I play retail. Okay. I'm an LFR raider. I've seen the content. I was there. I've been no, I don't do any raiding. I have a guild. I'm in a guild on retail, but I couldn't name 3 people. But no, I do play Classic. For the most part, pretty slow. Not level 60 yet, unfortunately. But you know,
Dan.
Yeah, look. There's particular reasons for that, and mainly mine, and mainly my choice of being a warrior and solo leveling and not doing dungeons and stuff was probably the worst idea I've ever had. I've lost my smile for Classic WoW.
Oh no!
No, it's all right. It's all right. But no, yeah, it's fine. I spend a lot of time just like I'm friends with a lot of people who do like data mining stuff, so we like get really into speculation based on data mining, which is super fun. And yeah, that's pretty much me. That's what I do on YouTube, just talking stuff, making up things.
Talking stuff and making up things.
Yep.
So again, their information will be down below, but if you're here, actually it's funny because you changed. I had to do this when I was setting up my notes. Your YouTube is the old link when it's proper, but you can actually type in Mr.GM YT and it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
otherwise,
it doesn't switch over. It's got the old name still. Like I don't know. It's weird.
Mr. Game Master Reviews.
Look. We don't need to talk about that. That's the old me. Don't. They've just let me in. They've let me do stuff now. They don't need to know about me. My past.
Yeah. And Hazel's page, of course, the links will be down below if you're watching this on YouTube. But so this is the thing. When I was talking to Tutron, who's in here in chat right now, he was looking up faces for the art, and I was like, okay, her hair was like that purple pinkish, right? And then now it's, what is that?
Aliens.
Actually, no, someone
I
in
thought
chat
it'd be a really great idea to drastically change right before BlizzCon so that nobody can find me. I'll just hide behind a bush and blend right in.
Well, I kind of did that on accident when I went yesterday. I went to get my hair trimmed up, and the guy took off way more than he should have. But it like reset it. So like 2 months from now, it'll be where I want it. But right now, it's a little too short. So we both did that. Yours was a planned move. Mine was an accident, I guess, or miscommunication. So we'll see. But actually, someone in chat was saying that your hair is like the Emerald Dream Green, actually, which is way better than your actual Carrot Top reference.
Some people eat them.
Are they what? Carrots or Emerald Dreams?
Carrot tops.
Oh,
I saw an episode of Great British Bake Off where this guy was making like a pesto with carrot tops, and I thought the madman, but he did it and they loved it. So, no shade in carrot tops.
Dan, comment.
Do you watch British Bake Off? I thought it was just
everybody does. We adore it over here.
I thought it was just
the most charming thing we have on TV. So, everybody that I know counts down to it every week.
That's the one with like Noel Fielding, isn't it?
I love him. He's
oh man, he's
so
a
good.
weird guy. What's the other guy? Paul Hollywood or something, isn't it? He's got an awesome name.
Oh yeah. He's a real.
No, I've never actually watched it, to be honest, but I hear it's good.
So
I was told you're British.
Yeah, no.
He's a fake Brit.
It's true. Yeah, I just all I do is play WoW, and I'm still not level 60, so I don't know what I do.
I gotta put down on the spot here. Hazel, you are partaking in multiple cups of tea right now.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
Dan, how many cups of tea are you partaking in?
None.
Fake Brit confirmed.
Yeah, like normal tea, right? So like Earl Grey or like English breakfast, but I don't dabble in different stuff. I've had a discussion with the stream before, like about tea, and people got really confused when I said I put milk in tea, and they were like, "What on earth are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, tea with milk and stuff." They're like, "What?" They're like, "You just put loads of sugar in it and put it in the fridge or something." I was like, "What is this madness?"
Whoa.
That's sweet tea. That's
sweet
different.
tea.
That's what they thought I said when I said tea. They were like, "Yeah, sweet tea." I was like, "No, like tea with biscuits, not." And then the word biscuit gets all confused as well because that's like scones or whatever.
Americans think that means scones, yeah.
Yeah,
or a cookie.
Mad. Yeah, a cookie. A cookie in England is a cookie, with chocolate chips and stuff. And here it's everything, like an Oreo. It's
that is a cookie.
This place
that's a cookie.
Is weird. It's not a cookie in England. It says biscuit.
All right, let's get this out of the way right off the bat. There is a giant, and I'll bring this up on screen for you, so I'm not making this up. There is a gigante Google document that has been collaborated with and put together for every leak pertaining to BlizzCon. We are in the 60+ leak range. And it's fun. And I like how more and more, the closer and closer we get, the more and more come up. Now, Hazel, you made a video, but let's retread some of those trails. What are your predictions during the opening ceremony, or do you have any weight in any stock in any of these leaks being credible?
So this is actually the first time I've seen that Google Doc. That is a really impressive amount of effort that I'm looking at right now. I don't think I have enough effort in me to read all of them, let alone assemble something like that. So my predictions are just based off of the leaks that were big enough to reach my sphere, which is really just very front pages of Wowhead. And then just, predictions based on the timing of when things come out. So my guesses would be Diablo 4, obviously. I think it would be very bizarre if they didn't do that. I think that we're going to get a WoW expansion, of course. I think they're going to give us more info about 8.3, but the main focus should be on the WoW expansion with a couple of major features. The likely ones based on the data mining, I think it's very likely that we're getting some expansion on Death Knight story and Lich King story. I think that's almost a given at this point, given Sylvanas' death themes and the intriguing lead-ins of Wamsamdi. And then my wish list, I've heard rumors that they might be messing with the faction dynamic. And I have this pet dream where they not dissolve the factions. I don't want them to merge the factions. I want them to splinter them into more than 2, like 4, 5, 6, allow you to choose your own faction independently of the race you play, and then have the factions matter less. So they would matter for world PvP. They would matter for like collectible cosmetics. So you like join the Cenarian Circle, you can get access to some specific mounts or transmog, and then you would be that faction for PvP. But everybody would be able to raid with everybody. Everybody would be able to queue arena with everybody. And I think that would solve some problems with trying to find people to play with, because you would be essentially doubling your pool of available players. That's what I want.
I will just, yeah, I will. That's one I've been talking about for a while, actually. I'll echo. That's the biggest out of anything else that comes out, because this is not much about it. Me, I jibble jab enough on my stream, but I'm ready for the faction nonsense to be sort of over in like a way, because the faction imbalance is obviously growing and growing and growing. So much more of the raiding community is Horde than Alliance, and it just gets so muddied. In every other expansion, we get together for some like big bad threat, and then we're friends again. We both take on the Legion, and then 3 weeks later we're like, nah, you're a poo-poo face. So, and even in the narrative right now in the game, it obviously is shown that even Saurfang and Anduin both realize that it's kind of stupid, the underlining text there. So it'd be a great unifying factor, unless you can just, so we can, like, Battlegrounds would be like training exercises, right? Or something to keep like that facade. But it just gets annoying to be like, hate each other and then friends, and then hate each other and then friends, and then hate each other and friends. It just gets annoying. And we have, I'm sure Dan and Hazel, we all can agree that we probably have lots of viewers in our communities online that we just can't play with ever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I think joining factions sounds awesome, like joining the Cenarian Circle.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't even think of that. Imagine joining the Argent Dawn. That's who I'd join.
Mm.
Bunch of lads, those guys. Yeah. But no, that's really a neat idea. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a, I guess with like Classic being out, so if you really did want the Horde and Alliance dynamic, then you kind of got that there. And I guess that gives them a little bit more wiggle room to kind of mess around with the factions, really, or do more like out there things with WoW, because you can, you know, you've always got, you know, Classic there to do whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think there's like a lot of stuff in the game that's kind of based around Alliance and Horde, which kind of makes it kind of difficult. As you said, like Battlegrounds and things, you can kind of work that out. But then you get like questing in the world, you know, like all the, you know, different zones and stuff have Alliance-based quests, Horde-based quests. How would that work? It's all kind of, do you get to do both quests now, or do you get to choose? Like, I don't know. It's kind of, there's a lot of back-end things to it that would be kind of confusing. But I guess they could do, in fact, no, I was going to say, if they made it so you could choose if you're Alliance or Horde, everyone would just go Horde, wouldn't it? Like, it would just be like,
well, if it didn't determine who you raided with, then anybody could go based on their own personal motivation and not necessarily that which their friends are playing.
Yeah,
I mean, you could let people choose, just do all the quests. You know, sometimes they don't make sense. If you've ever taken a Dark Iron Dwarf and quested through the wetlands and killed a bunch of Dark Iron Dwarves because they're stinky, that's just hilarious. And
they clearly don't care about continuity.
I think we've jumped that shark. I think that ship sailed.
I think like the raids where they do team up, you know, things like what would be a good example? I guess Ny'alotha, for example, like where they team up and Ice Crown and things like that. They should have just had it so you could group with Horde and Alliance. But for like something like Battle for Desire Law, they should have had it Horde and Alliance, like separate. But like for ones where the actual characters team up, you should be able to team up with the Horde and Alliance for that. Would make more sense story-wise, I guess.
Yeah, I'm ready for that kind of stuff to happen. I mean, everyone is sort of on the same page. I think the Diablo 4, mostly because we knew shortly after 2018 last year that it was slated to be at least talked about or shown off, but as Blizzard does Blizzard things, which I don't know why the community perception has come around against this. Blizzard doesn't like talking about or showing off stuff until it's ready. That's how they were historically for years. But now there's like this weird outcry, like understanding, at least misunderstanding maybe, that people want them to just say everything the moment they can talk about it ever and not Blizzardify what they normally do. So Diablo 4, obviously Diablo Immortal will come out in some way, shape, or form or fashion as that bridging point.
Can't wait.
Sure. The new hubbub, of course, based on the Blizzard classics, their arcade style stuff. If you haven't seen the floor map layout now, downstairs, there's tons of old games. I'm gonna play Rocket Racing. You can't even stop me.
Do you think there's a reason for it? Do you think they're going to re-release them or something, or a mobile app, maybe?
Maybe. But I mean, like the Diablo 2 remaster, sort of in the same realm as the StarCraft Brood War remaster, to 1080p it to 16:9 to HD the resolutions, just to bring, and to make Diablo 2 work. Because right now it doesn't really work if you try to play it on Windows 10. It just kind of doesn't. You have to patch it and do all this weird fan-made stuff, but that would be a huge one. Not only would it be Diablo 4 announcement, Diablo 2 Remastered comes out, and then Diablo Immortal. Diablo community's been waiting for stuff for a long time. There is just breaking as we were sitting down here right now. I don't have anything pulled up, so if you want to drop me some links in Discord, we could look at them. But the Overwatch Chapter 2.
Oh, those.
Oh, yeah.
I do have some screenshots.
Which
is it called Chapter 2 or what's it actually?
Well, that's what Slasher was saying on Twitter. It's not Overwatch 2 like a brand new game. It's just like an expansion to Overwatch. The Chapter 2. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see here.
Oh, there you go. They load now.
Cool. Yeah. This is new stuff here.
It is weird that if they do go with like an actual 2, as in like you have to buy it, you have to go out and buy like a whole new game, which is kind of interesting. I would have thought something like Overwatch would have worked off like expansions, being like pretty much being online, but I guess, I don't know. It's kind of like the idea of like WoW 2 doesn't really work because it's just not that kind of game.
Especially when people have spent so much money on skins and collecting skins. It would be like you said, a WoW 2 where people have to leave all their collections behind. It's not going to go over well.
Yeah, it's like Fortnite just did Chapter 2 and loads of games that are kind of similar to that do that as well. I think Apex did something similar as well. But yeah, I could see it as a patch. I guess nobody really knows. They could still do it as a patch, with new maps and PvE mode and all that kind of jazz, which is kind of the rumors at the moment. But yeah. There was a logo as well. Did you see the logo? The logo looks awesome.
Yeah, just the really clean 2 on the side. Yeah, I just showed it with Lucio. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
So that's what it looks like. It might break into the stuff that Slasher talked about is like a PvE mode, and there'll be different gameplay modes. I'm expecting potentially a battle royale mode where you just kind of play characters, but it also could be the battle royale theme now with like Apex out. You can have heroes in a battle royale now. You can have hero characters. So drag and drop, just plop that in there, and it's sort of the same. I don't know if you kept up with this recently. The Riot Games huge launch of like 7 new properties the other day for their 10th anniversary. And the community at large was like, wow, they're just trying to basically one-up Blizzard, which is funny because now I expect the finger guns from Blizzard back at Riot this Friday, right? So
I actually asked someone at Blizzard off the cuff. I was like, do you think BlizzCon's gonna, you think it's gonna be better than Riot's announcements? They were like, they go, for me personally, yeah. They were like, it's pretty awesome. I was like, okay. So I was like, and I heard like, I think it was last year, Taliesin like said, oh, apparently someone at Blizzard told him, if you have to go to a BlizzCon, go to this one, sort of stuff. So
right.
Yeah. What's this? What is this? If you see the icon on Diablo 2 already, what is?
Yeah, that's what chat just said, that the Diablo 2 icon on BNet has been changed.
I feel like I'm being debated.
I mean, hopefully not. Prediction and speculation stuff is fun.
Oh yeah, I love it. And I think it's going to be so funny when they actually do announce the WoW expansion. You look through all those 60 leaks, and maybe one of them was right. Imagine if one of them was completely on the head.
Yep.
Just be so good. I'd love that. But no, I think yeah, I mean, as someone who's like in for classic and stuff for the most part, I think there's not going to be any classic news this year either, unless they kind of come out and say, yeah, we're doing TBC. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that'd be worthy of a panel or anything like that. That would be more of a opening ceremony type thing.
Yeah, there's definitely some slates they'll give us, some launch things. Obviously, we know we'll probably get more information about 8.3. Maybe even there is, I think in one of your videos, did you tweet about how there's already 8.3.5 stuff? Yeah.
Correct.
So they're full steam ahead. They're way ahead of what we think they might be right now, which is crazy. I think it was only like voice lines that you pulled, right?
Yeah, they were encrypted. Well, they weren't encrypted. They were there because they keep doing this thing where they kind of push a half build because they kind of push it and they're like, oh no, we don't want to push that, which is either on purpose or not. They do that, and then the guys data mine it, and they're like, oh, this has actually got, because I got sent I got sent 469 voice lines of like voice files from this half build, and I went through them, and some of them were a little suspect, but the most part they were just like, oh oh, like attack.
You just play the whole playlist while you go to sleep and absorb them like a
But it was
tape.
like it was so many voice files that I tried to open them on my computer and they just crashed. So I had to upload them to Google Docs and play them through that. But it was like, yeah, there was a few that were a bit like, oh, who's that sort of thing. There was a lot of Tyrande. There's a lot going on with her. She is not happy. She's very angry. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the 8.3 PTR that we don't know right now, and it could either be stuff for 8.3, could either be stuff for 8.3.5 with the Death Knights. But I feel like we're going to get the Death Knight stuff before the next expansion. At least some sort of
that could be 8.3.5. That could be like the lead into the next expansion.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the encrypted voice files for Bolvar and Mograine are listed as 8.3, but I mean, there's also Ice Crown map encrypted. There's also a load of other sound files. Obviously, we had the skin files for the Death Knights, which we saw. And the thing is with Blizzard as well, they know how to encrypt stuff. They know how to do stuff like that. They know exactly what they're putting out there for people to speculate on.
Oh, of course.
You know, they put those swords in there. I'm sure you saw the two-handed swords for the Death Knights. They did 4 of those. And funnily enough, you go on the PTR right now, make a Death Knight, it literally has them on the collections tab. So they're there, and it says that the reward, the way to get them is from a quest. So
yeah,
there you go.
Here's the update. I pulled this up as well while you were talking about the Warcraft stuff. This is on the Battle.net shop. This is what we're talking about with the new Diablo 2 icon. It's right there at the top bar. It's a cleaned up Diablo 2 icon, just like when they added StarCraft because of the StarCraft Brood War remaster. It's right there. It's right there.
Looks like a sideways hamburger.
I mean,
when did this happen? Is this breaking news?
This must have happened very recently because I did not see this. I was just on this the other day because I was looking for BlizzCon stuff and looking through the shop for the Blizzard gear store. So this must be newish. They're launching everything because all these systems, which is a weird part about this and why obviously some things are leaks like that giant Google document. And some things are speculation and some things are hearsay. And there are all these screenshots that come out like they're from people setting up at BlizzCon right now and they're taking pictures on their phones. They're all blurry and all crappy. But other things, Blizzard has to launch and get the website hooks in before this all starts, essentially Thursday night into Friday. So it's all active. So that's right there. And that wasn't there before.
I loved, I think it was 2017 when they announced Battle for Azeroth. Walked into the convention center first time, just had WoW logos everywhere. I'm like, oh, cool. Went into the Mythic stage, come out, and everything had changed. I was like, this is amazing. It was like magic.
Oh, so it happened today. The Diablo 2 button.
Oh, really?
Wow. Neat.
There you go.
So then the BlizzCon specifically, as I said, Big Dan, you in LA right now.
I am.
And you'll be attending BlizzCon, I imagine. You're not just sitting in a hotel room over there.
No, I actually had it. I had everything booked before I had a ticket, so there was a chance.
How many BlizzCons does it make it for you in person?
This is the 3rd one.
Ooh.
So I was there 2017 BFA Classic, which was awesome.
Yeah.
2018 was Diablo Immortal, which was awesome. But also, what was it? They announced 8.2, talked about 8.1. What else was announced? I can't even remember. Oh, Warcraft 3, of course. And yeah. Then I looked at the map this year, and it's completely different to all the other years that I've gotten. There's no... the Hearthstone area's moved. They've got rid of the HOTS area. The stores moved. The ticket area, like where you pick up the... what is it? The badges and stuff like that. That's all moved now. It's all a bit... I don't like change.
Well, I want to go over to Hazel about the BlizzCon stuff too, but just to go off of, if you're listening right now and you don't know how the whole BlizzCon shenanigans work, obviously the virtual ticket, and which they've expanded upon this year, apparently like every major stage should have a panel clicker on the virtual ticket. We'll have to wait and see when you get it. You get 2 weeks after if you have a virtual ticket to rewatch anything you may have missed. They've openly said that there's more coverage on the virtual ticket than previous years, and the opening ceremony is always free. You can view the whole opening ceremony and lead up. And apparently there's like an extra buffer of free before the virtual ticket goes paid to, pay to watch. Is it the first 4 panels, really?
Wow. It's something, I swear someone said that it was a lot of the like unannounced stuff, which is so funny because in theory, that stuff would be something that they need to sell. So which would make sense for it to be free. But I don't know how much truth there is. I don't know what 4 panels it is specifically. There you go. Sage said it's all the coming soon stuff. That's who I
It's
heard
all
it from.
the coming soon. Yeah, so if you didn't look at this yet, here is the schedule. And it's going to say Eastern, because obviously I'm in the East Coast right now, but obviously just yank it back 3 hours. Opening ceremony, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then on the same stage, on opening day, there are 4 blocked coming soon panels. Now, obviously, we can imagine one's for Overwatch, one's for WoW, one's for Diablo, and one's for... I don't know.
I got a theory on what it is.
What's your theory?
I think it's a single-player game based in the Warcraft universe. That's what I think it is. I think they're doing something more. I think they're doing something more with the WoW universe because there's so much in there, like the WoW lore and everything like that. There's so much to explore. They actually made a game so long ago called Lord of Clans, which was a single-player point-and-click game with Thrall. But I could imagine, let's think of like a God of War type game in the WoW universe, like talking about, maybe a character we haven't seen for a while who came back and like what they've been up to sort of thing. And they could throw that into the canon of WoW as well. There's a lot, like, think of it as like Skyrim and Elder Scrolls Online. That's my kind of
I think,
theory.
Hazel, you have a theory about what this is, and you talked about it in your recent video, but what do you think this is?
I have a couple of ideas. The one I think that you're talking about, I think this is mostly connected from, I don't know if you guys remember that Kotaku leak that was like almost a year ago that they supposedly had some ex-staffers spill the beans on what they were working on. But one of the things was they were supposedly attempting to make a Pokemon Go style game. So I feel like based on all of the rumors that they've been leaning heavily into mobile, that one of the panels, presumably a later one because they can't lead with mobile after last year, one of the panels would be dedicated to either a mobile game such as a Pokemon Go style experience or maybe a couple of them. They could do a WoW pet battle app. They could do some kind of auto chess thing. There's a lot of ways they could go, and they don't have to necessarily just do one of them, but I would be surprised if there wasn't a focus on mobile this year. I'm not like excited about it, but I would be surprised if they didn't have that somewhere for one of the mystery panels.
What if the Pokemon Go type thing was mixed in with the pet battle app? I would actually love a pet. It's so funny because people don't like pet battles generally speaking. I know you're a big pet battle person, and I kind of like pet battles as well. It's just Pokemon essentially, isn't it? So really, but like, I think an app, like you ask anyone, they'll be like, "Oh, an app for it." They'll be like, "Yeah, I'll play that." Like literally everyone. Like everyone's just like, "Oh yeah, if it was an app, I probably would play it." But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I think as you said, like there was like nearly a year ago, wasn't it? The Warcraft Pet Battle Go or whatever it was. It's definitely plausible for sure. It'll get people outside.
You can try.
I think there was that mention of it's Tom Chilton's
unannounced project.
Project, yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of I guess that's the excitement, isn't it, of BlizzCon? You just don't know. It's just going to turn up. Just turn up and all the things are there. But there's like, I looked at the map and I was kind of studying like the different areas where, like, from my experience, like where different games were.
Right.
And the area where Diablo Immortal was last year, there's nothing there. So I don't know if there's going to be an area there. I remember turning up at the Mythic stage last year and there was just like, it was all blocked off and I kind of like peered in. What are those phones doing there? But no, I don't know.
I have no issue with the mobile stuff. I think people have to just accept and grow with that.
Did you play it? Did you play Diablo more?
No, I looked at it upstairs, like the media lounge. So, but I'm ready to actually like full on. I'll totally play it because I want to know the story, right? That's about all I get out of Diablo is I'll play for the story. I don't like grind the game, but yeah.
I played it and I'll probably get some hate. I thought it was right. I actually thought it was okay. It played really nicely considering. It's obviously, I think a lot of people's issues with it is obviously, how they do microtransactions or whatever. That's kind of what mobile games are known for. But yeah, I don't know. The thing is, like, I'm not like a huge Diablo guy either. I felt like a lot of the rage was obviously the fact that that was the only thing they got when they were expecting a Diablo 4 or something like that. So if it was like on the back of stuff, if they were like, yeah, Diablo 4, but also we're doing this other mobile game. But, it's just how it was, unfortunately. But I was there.
Roll back real quick, Hazel. You are attending BlizzCon in person this year? How many have you gone to actually?
I've only been to one before. This will be my second one. So last year was my first BlizzCon. And I actually think that was a decent first one to go to because true, nothing happened, but that gave me time to learn what I'm doing. I don't get out much, and I'm a bit of a mess just in the world because I don't get out much. So it gave me a chance to figure out like my way around and how to get into things and how to get out of things and how to check an Uber's license plate before you get in the car.
Oh, fair.
And I feel much more prepared this year so that I won't be panicking about being lost and late for a panel. Instead, I can hopefully get there and get into a seat so I can see whatever it is that they have planned for us, because I think this year is going to be a much better one to actually pay attention to the show. Be good.
It's going to be awesome. I honestly, like, just the coming soon stuff is so exciting.
Yeah, do you have either of you have any fears? Like they won't announce something, or something bad will happen.
Yeah.
Or
I think
all the.
Imagine
as
if
long
they
as it doesn't get set on fire. I mean,
well,
makes it it'll be fine.
Sure.
Imagine if they didn't announce a WoW expansion. Imagine if they just went, you know, well, 8.3's got this, 8.35's got this. We'll let you know about the rest. Definitely a possibility.
I think I just have too much faith. There's no way.
They got to
I
spoil
guess
the end of 8.3 to do it. That's because it's such an awkward position for them to be in story-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Obviously, we had that video of the end of Nihilo the Raid. Don't want to get into it too much, but it was interesting. I'm sure you saw it.
I did not watch the half done.
You didn't watch it?
I actually didn't watch it either.
Oh, high five. Yeah.
You're not missing much.
Oh,
Remember that raid? Remember that raid? What was it? Dragon Soul. Remember that time Thrall was there with the little... It's kind of like that. A little bit. No, I think the thing is, like, it was one of those in-game cinematics, so it wasn't quite like a, big, hoo-ha.
Not a full-fledged Taryn Gregory cinematic.
No, and it kind of went into... It had a white fade out, which essentially means it's probably going to go into some sort of, like, high-fidelity, crazy cinematic. So it did leave it open. You don't actually know what happened at the end of it, but we will know what happens at the end of it when we get to BlizzCon. I would imagine,
Okay.
All things going okay, I guess. But we'll see.
Well, right. They won't leak a Terran cinematic, but that's because they're usually encrypted by a game key that has to be generated when the trigger in the game happens. It's still weird that other things get pulled. And like you said, you've pulled so many voice files and even things from the next patch beyond 8.3. So it's weird what can or cannot be data mined or leaked.
They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're encrypting and stuff. They didn't used to encrypt a lot, and the game stuff, the game trigger thing is kind of a new thing as well. They didn't always do that. I'm sure you remember before, as soon as the patch would come out, you'd see the cinematic, but now they do it where people race to the thing. I think last tier was people doing normal mode like really, really quick. And I think Wowhead were like streaming it. That was actually so awesome. I really enjoyed that. And that's kind of half the fun, I guess. But there's a lot. And as I said, they know exactly what they're putting out for the most part. A lot of the kind of in-game cinematics are the way they find them is kind of interesting. There's like a list of them, and there was one for 8.3 Death Knight intro, which was encrypted. So when you ran it, it just kind of had like Sylvanas standing there as like a placeholder. But it is interesting how they kind of let that one out. But I don't know how they feel about people posting it. That's the thing, because it's
there was a bit of controversy. This was a couple of years ago when I think Wowhead got in way more trouble than MMO Champion at the time. Yeah. Because MMO Champion had pulled some of these files out, but they didn't post them. But Wowhead went right up and posted these things. And that was, I guess, a couple expansions ago when Blizzard was still like not catching up with how fast data mining happens. And there was definitely some like rulers on the wrist, like slaps, like, Yeah,
they don't. The problem is they don't really set any ground rules.
Yeah, Blizzard doesn't.
Yeah, they're not going to go, oh, you can't, you can and can't do this. It's essentially, I guess, it's the methods they use to get them. You can do like standard data mining, which is just like looking through the files, but you can also do other things, let's just say, which I won't go into. But there's definitely other ways of getting that kind of content. And as I said, like we're not really sure how Blizzard feel about it, to be honest. And I think that if they had a real big problem about it, then obviously they would step up and say something about it. Which I'm actually intrigued if they did actually mention anything about that final N'Zoth cinematic, because it was a bit much.
Well, this is There's also this weird speculation too. I don't know if Hazel, if you've touched on this. I think in some of the videos that Dan, you put together, there was some hint of all this, but it's what if Blizzard just puts things in the game? Because we're dealing with an old god, we're dealing with corrupted stuff, we're dealing with subterfuge and like segues and moving us from one way to another, and all the story stuff is changing. What if some of the stuff they put in the game is just bogus?
They could do that. They could do that. Yeah, they could absolutely do that.
That's an expensive prank, though.
Yeah, I don't think they would go for the whole effort.
Dedicating that much work time to a gotcha is questionable.
You could do fake broadcast text. I mean, essentially, that's just typing. You know, there's a file in there which is just like all the text and stuff. So you could just fake that, which I definitely think they should do because it would just be incredible. Like,
they would.
This is actually true story. I remember BFA beta when the Magha stuff came out. I genuinely thought it was all a prank for data miners because it was just so out there. Like the whole story, I was like, what on earth? And then they came out with the model as well. I was like, okay, maybe it's not. Then it ended up being it because they actually went like I actually couldn't believe that they actually went back to Draenor. I was like, really? They want to touch on that again? You know, there's some Magha and Nagran just chilling. You can go get those.
And I was there. I was at the launch of the cinematic event they put on at the theater and everything, and it was a little weird, the whole timey-wimey nature of it. And this so many years ago now, and the story has moved on so much from beyond that. We look back at that, and we're kind of like, yeah, now we have giant space gods throwing swords into our planet. But time travel? It's fine.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. That's like people like getting angry about Volpira when you play a game with humanoid wolves and cows and other stuff like that. You know, it's a bit strange.
But no foxes.
Yeah, no, none of those foxes with their amazing dances.
Kind of. It still freaks me out because their emotes and their talking animations and things are still just goblins. So maybe if they change them.
I've been following like the Volpira Caravan Discord. And they've literally like every single patch are like, this has changed. They've slightly changed this and stuff like that. They were really on it. And I'm so happy for them to finally get their race that they wanted. It was like quite a cool moment. But their racial is like the best thing in the world. Have you seen it?
Which one do you mean? There's a few.
So you got the make camp.
Yeah.
And then you've got the returning, like you can return to camp, and it's like a little cinematic of you jumping on the caravan and it sails away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you can make a camp anywhere you like. It's kind of like another Hearthstone, and you literally don't need to be in an inn. You literally just plop it anywhere. It makes a little camp with a campfire and stuff, and that actually counts as a rested zone as well. And other people can see it. So you could actually, like on the PTR, if you go in, everyone's in Ogrima just made this little camp around there with fires and stuff, and it's really cute. But and then when you use your return to camp, it's like an hour cooldown. And you just get in a little caravan. It's like a cutscene, and then it takes you back to where you've set your camp, which is really cool. But there was a bug, and I don't know if it's still in there, where you set up your camp, and for some reason, there's a backpack in there, and when you click the backpack, it explodes into a huge ball of fire, and it didn't have a cooldown, so you just kept clicking it, and it was just this huge, crazy fire thing. And I don't know if it's still there, and I don't know why it did that, but it did. And it was really strange. But yeah, if you get a chance, go on the PTR and check it out because it's a really cool racial. I mean, there's no advantage, you know, in combat or anything like that, but it's just neat, I guess, to have something like that. But
hey, Hazel is the spinning block. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I was afraid of this.
Oh no. Okay. We can still hear you though, so it's not you're still in the call. It's just that you've become data. Oh, there's your face. I've
never tried to stream on this one before. If it happens again, I'll just switch the other camera.
Okay. Well, there was earlier talk about how you might have been desynced a little bit audio-wise. I don't see it. Chat was seeing it. So, yeah, she's ascending.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Fine this way.
There you are. But I was
going to
go...
The other racial that I really like.
Yeah.
Real quick on the PTR. So they have that one where you kill a humanoid and you have a chance to create a bag of goods.
Yeah.
And it's the funniest thing in the world because right now, I imagine they'll fix this. It's probably not intended, but right now I've been doing raid testing. And as a group is wiping and your teammates are dying around you, the Volpira, they're just creating these bags in chat as their friends die. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so good. You literally, and I think in the world at the moment, like when you do it, it's like you get Cataclysm level stuff in like the normal world and then it kind of levels up or whatever. But yeah, it's all a bit weird and you get a lot. Like you get a ton.
It was like a 50% drop rate. It was wild. It was way too many.
There was a couple other a couple other racials that went in there as well. There was like the Bag of Tricks one, which I don't really know. I don't know if it's implemented yet. Didn't really make a lot of sense what that was about, but yeah, there was a few little bits
like
and
the
pieces there.
Zandalari blew up because the default one was a health potion, and it seems like you can choose between a few different benefits. I don't know what the other ones are, but at least one of them is a self-heal.
Yeah, I did have a look through the like miscellaneous spells on Wowhead, and there was not really anything on there, so it'll come eventually. But yeah, I think I really like all of the allied racials. I think some of them are so creative and interesting, but the Mechanome one's like really overpowered, like being able to do like a mirror image of yourself, but you can also stack that with mirror image, so you can literally have a army of 5 Mechanomes running with you for what, like 30 seconds. It's kind of crazy.
And then they just get a cheat death just because. Just
20%.
Here, play this thing that gets no sleeves and no pant legs, please.
So it's like 20. Yeah, when you get down to 20%, you get a heal for 20%. I think, if I'm not, mistaken.
So.
Yeah, and that's got 2.5 minute cooldown, which is great.
It's a little. It since it's a dot though, or a hot rather, it might not save you from things. Is it instant? I thought it was like a repair function where it happens over a few ticks, but I don't know. These might be changes we've been seeing over and over again. But yeah,
I'm still race changing.
You're still.
I'm doing
terrible. I'm actually
I'm a gnome already, and I when 8.2 came out, when they announced all the Mechanome stuff, I said if there ever becomes a race, I'm doing it. But now I'm kind of sad that the gear doesn't really come up on them at all. Like, unless you're a caster, you can still wear the dresses and stuff. But if you're like a melee or a warrior or something, you literally shoulders, chest, like a tiny bit of the pants and the belt, and that's it. And
you get a loincloth. You get like a diaper situation.
Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it like
it's a bit rough.
Diaper baby or something like that. It's so good.
You get a diaper baby. It's so good. Well,
look, you're taking me out of context now.
Mia's breaking my chat now. Give him the clamps. Mia, I need to hold on.
1,000 gifted subs.
I need to
2,600. Oh my god.
Hang on. I'm resetting Discord because we're getting some fluff right now. So hold on a second. I'm just changing our server and then going back to us. There we go. And hopefully we're back to synced sound, apparently. I gave him the clamps. I was going to say, Dan, did you see the... I appreciate the clap, by the way. It's good. Did you see the Photoshop of the Kultiran male torso and head with Mechagon, Mechanome, feet, and arms? It's peak male performance.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
So good. Oh, no.
Imagine if that was a thing. I kind of want it to be a thing for undeads, like how like undeads could be like any other race and undead type, because in theory that's kind of what they are, but one can dream. But no, it's strange. Yeah, show it. Get up on stream. I'm sure everyone loves it.
Oh, I'm not doing it. You can find it yourself.
Find it.
Nope, not putting it on stream. Nope.
Just Google sexy Kultiran and it's the first thing that comes up.
But so shift gears then, Hazel, backtrack me, and then I have a follow-up question. So what have you been playing lately right now? Outside of your casual but not so casual because you raid heroic but also might be working on Mythic Ajara sometime, whatever chat says.
No, I regret that thoroughly at this point in my day.
Oh no.
So outside of WoW completely, because I've been having a real ball hunting down meta achievements.
Really?
One blueprint. I just got my Najatar meta this last week, and I'm one blueprint away from getting my Mechagon meta.
You got the crab mount.
I have the crab mount, and I never see anybody with a crab mount, which makes me feel so much better about it. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life.
It takes so long to grind.
I'm really happy with that, actually, because it gives kind of like there's a lot of people that play without a guild, and they'll play solo and do world quests and achievements and collecting, and there's not that many marks of exceptional achievement within that solo field. It's hard to make something annoying enough that everybody won't do it. And I think they really nailed that, because you can grind out these meta achievements and get these really cool unique mounts, but they're hard enough to get that not that many people have them. So I feel way more gratified and way more excited to get my Mechagon wheel than I did to get any other kind of like zone or patch meta mount, because this was really hard and it took a lot of time. And I really wish that I had been keeping up with the Steel Sage Gao dailies, because that's the only thing I need, and I ignored him because I didn't know he was important.
Oh.
I just have to wait for him to come back.
The crab mount is so awesome. What's the it's the big wheel, isn't it? For the
it's the rust feather mount but shinier.
Yeah,
the golden one.
I can't remember what it's called. Model W or something?
Mechagon Model W, something like that. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I cannot be arsed to farm mounts. can't.
That's what I was doing before Classic came out. It was so much fun.
Zero desire.
Transwogs as well.
But you don't want to have a desire for it. Fine, I'll do it. Dan, it was linked to me multiple times.
You found it. You've got it up.
Peak male performance right here. This is just
That is superb.
Oh boy.
Just
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, okay. That's it. That's it.
How can you unsee things?
I
EOS.
Oh my gosh. You call him Beer Barrel. Oh, yeah.
What if that was the only thing they announced? That's the nightmare situation. Hi guys, yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying 8.3. Corrupted Gear's all good in that, and then we're also bringing this out, and then it's like this cinematic of him wandering along.
Well, anyway, Hazel, what is your favorite game outside of WoW? That's the follow-up question. What do you partake in out of the World of Warcraft?
I've 2 years late just gotten myself into Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
I've co-opted our Switch and snuck that into my office and squirreled it away. So I've been working through that outside of WoW, but I don't do a lot outside of WoW. Usually I'm either playing WoW for myself or doing the YouTube streaming or else. Oh no. Oh no.
Or the Void has taken you.
I'll fix this. I've become Void. I do play a Shadow Priest, so it's on brand for me. But I just want to hang out with the animals. So I've been getting into Breath of the Wild though, and that's been really
so
fun.
good.
I usually was resistant to Zelda games because I couldn't customize my character, and I hate puzzles. So you'd think it would be a real big sticking point for me, but I do love how open world it is.
Hey, wait.
Having a good time.
Hold on. I can. Oh gosh, I can fix this temporarily. Ready? Hold on. Hold on. I got it.
I'm just hooking up my other camera.
I'm just gonna slap in your Teutron's face. There you are. All right.
Oh, that's much better. That's an improvement, honestly.
There you go. I gotta put it over on your camera left side though. There you go. Until you get your camera back. There you go. Wait a minute. Yeah, just make the mouth move somehow. Exactly. It's totally fine. There you go. Just slap. There we go. Right there. Perfect.
I love the T&E Oh No Tower.
Oh, I know. Yeah. The Void expansion. Ganon got her. Monka TOS. Oh no, she's lost in the Void. But then, Dan, what are you playing outside of World of Warcraft?
Man, I buy games, play them for like 10 minutes, and I just go back to WoW. But no, I just got Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. Funnily enough.
Oh, I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I played it. It only came out Friday, so I literally got to play it for Friday, and then I had to fly. But I also played, and again, my apologies, chat, Call of Duty Mobile. Oh
no! Hold on, I gotta bring chat back up here. Hold on. No, wait. Give him like a second. This guy, he has a phone,
actually,
boys.
Look. Look, here it is. Here it is. Look, there it is. Call of Duty Mobile. No, genuinely, actually not that bad. But April Fool's joke, yeah, it's an out of season April Fool's joke. But no, and then beyond that, Crash Team Racing on the Switch, along with Smash Brothers on the Switch. That's what I played all the way here, basically. Just Switch. Like, the Switch is just the greatest thing ever invented. Like, it's the best console I've ever played. And yeah, it's just incredible. So there it is. Yeah, Diablo more. Can't wait. Love phones. Love phone games. My favorite.
Oh, Hazel's gonna make up for going into Void form. Oh, there's the cat. We've got it.
Yeah.
We don't have a cat in the hotel room.
Well, that would be weird if you did. That's the worst
part about traveling. It's the worst part.
Oh.
You got no plants. You got no cat. There's no dog. There's no life.
No. Well.
Soulless.
So, and then I'll go back to you on this, Dan, and then if Hazel wants to sort of summarize potentially what we have talked about here and give like a hot take, because we have to talk about it at least a little bit before we wing it right back to BlizzCon, is the N'Zoth corrupted gear on the PTR right now, which is the change / send off to Titan Forging and War Forging, potentially, hopefully, please.
Send off. So hopeful.
So more updates have come to this. Ian just the other day said that they're going to be bracketing and flatlining all the like the corruption for the benefit. They're all going to be like synced. They're not going to have like random rolls between the two of them. But I've said my piece. Hazel said some of hers, but I don't think we've heard what you think, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying before we started, I did have a go on the PTR because you got to buy it from a vendor and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to judge how often you're going to get these corrupted pieces and whatever. But the first thing I did was just max out my corruption to like 130. Just die as soon as you go into any sort of combat. It's just not something you should do. The cleansing thing wasn't in the PTR either. I don't know if it is now. So essentially, if you get a corrupted piece, you can just choose to get rid of all this stuff. I'm assuming the cleansing gets rid of the corruption and the beneficial stat. Obviously.
Correct.
I think it's nice that we're not getting like it doesn't have the eye level increase and stuff like that. That's kind of nice. But as you said, I don't know if you mentioned it on stream or whatever, but you said it had a chance of socketing as well, which sounds absolutely horrendous.
I was told and saw screenshots that socketing is confirmed to be a part of the system still, yes.
No, why do they do that?
So
well, wouldn't socketing count as an upgrade, like a eye level upgrade or not? Or
I read out,
increase?
There's like a 32-minute video on my channel that I cut from my live stream when I read, because it was breaking news the other day on stream when the blue post went up. So I was like, okay, I have to read this. And like the bottom tagline about this, and everyone that hears about me yammer on about this is, no, I don't care for it, is that Blizzard thinks that they need to make something about gear be exciting and give you those moments that really, I guess, connect you to the loot part of the game, right? They feel like
farming.
Well, sure, but
or when you get your gear.
That's what
and you're happy because it's the one that you wanted and you don't have to try and get it again, but better.
But what if it rolls with a bonus? What if it rolls with a higher eye level? What if it rolls with a socket? What if it rolls with avoidance? What if it rolls
Imagine a world where it rolls with the same stats. Stats can't change, combat can't change, but you can roll it in any color on the rainbow.
There you go.
You have to
That's
farm
exciting.
to get your set to match.
They need armor dies. Legit. Can we get
that'd be cool.
Come on.
Unfortunately, the game doesn't really support it. Back end. You could do it, maybe.
We didn't support a bigger backpack for a long time. I believe in the power of willpower.
I believe in I have a mighty need.
Enough, it'll happen.
Yeah. It 100% does support it. Well, what Sage
you'd have
saying,
to make a load of different textures for it and stuff like that.
Of course.
But essentially, the way that other games do it is essentially just has like a base, and then it has like a palette where you can choose different colors. But anyway, the other thing I did try to get as low corruption as possible.
Yeah,
and it just didn't. I had it on every single piece, so I had 2 rings. The weapons were dropping from the crates, but they didn't have any corruption on them.
Weapons don't corrupt. Weapons don't corrupt.
But the weapons were in the crates anyway, so I used those.
Yeah.
So it was what was it? Wrists, hands, belt, pants, boots, 2 rings, and I had as minimum amount. I think it was like 5. I think it was the lowest amount you could have
per piece.
And and it just didn't feel fun. I was trying to play it, and it didn't feel fun to play. And I don't think the idea is to have it on every single piece. But I just wanted to see what that was like, and it was not. It didn't feel nice at all. It felt like I was like constantly. I guess the whole point of it is that you constantly feel like you're getting screwed by something when using it. So yeah, I don't know. It was hard to kind of judge how it's going to work in practice. And as you said, like you feel like people probably just won't even use it.
It'll be interesting because I'm sure, there'll be another race to world first. There'll be more coverage, and we'll have to see how all the top guilds are dealing with this weird, nonsensical system. If they even equip it, if they even leave it on, if they are taking it off, if they're taking just the upgrades, but then turning off the bonuses that don't matter for them. There's too many layers. There's just, we went from obviously eye level having multiple layers of different, jumping points and how high it goes, and sockets involved in that too. But now it's still like 4 or 5 layers of just, right? If you get a stat bonus that is not a beneficial one to you, it just feels bad. It's going to feel bad because you're playing a balanced druid, and it could have been, master haste or the crit modifier, but it's like the plus verse. You're like, yay. So you just remove it. So then it just feels bad that you could have gotten something better, but you didn't.
Yeah. They just want people to play the game for longer, I suppose. Just keep doing stuff like that. But like I think interestingly enough, it's going to be to see what happens in Mythic Plus, because you can't change your gear in Mythic Plus. So you'd have to kind of make that decision before whether or not you want to be a complete, you know, degenerate and just be like, sorry, healer, but, you know, I need the extra damage.
Well, this is, I mean, my look at gearing as like a mythic focused, you know, multi-character endgame rating push is different. Dan's a filthy casual. Yeah, but like Hazel, you're sort of in the middle. So like, do you have a different take on how your gearing process works and how it feels?
Well, yeah, I mean, my first thought is, remember when they took out reforging because they thought it was too complicated?
Sure.
And that they wanted us to be able to understand our gear upgrades right away. That was cute. The way I really wish that they would do corrupted, and I feel like they've sort of tried but not made it quite all the way, was where all of these debuffs and all of these negative effects are a you problem and not a rest of your group problem. Like there's void zones to move out of, but just for you. And there's ads that spawn, but just for you. And the fact that they've then moved on into a reduced healing taken, or like that makes it then a group problem and a healer problem where you are going to be impacting your group. I think it would be much more interesting if it was I am ready to take on more responsibility and do more damage because I know I can handle these extra mechanics, like a personal difficulty dial for you to use within your group. Like maybe you can't get into a mythic rating group, but you think you're mythic rating material and you want to just like smash on the meters to make yourself feel good. You could wear a bunch of corruption and do all those other mechanics without having them impact the rest of your group. That I think would be really cool because it would only affect you and it's a very personal choice. And they're almost all the way there, but it's very hard to give you things to deal with without having it be your healer's problem when you can't deal with them because they need to give you consequences somehow. And I think in order to manage that, they would need to lean into those consequences being strictly damage focused. Like if you don't do these extra mechanics correctly, you do reduce damage as opposed to taking more damage, so that it's very much your problem, your fault. You shouldn't have worn as much if you couldn't handle it, that kind of thing. That's what I want.
Imagine that in LFR. Some random guy coming in with like 75% reduced healing.
Yeah.
Just like, sorry about that, but you know.
Sorry, but I mean, a void zone would spawn and just eat him alive, so.
Yeah, so that comes from, it comes from everything, right? Dark Shore Warfront, Mythic Plus stuff, LFR, normal, heroic, mythic, I guess.
It's all the new raids, all the dungeons.
World quests?
Yeah, I don't think it's World Quest gear.
I don't think so, no.
It's in the post. Weapons can't corrupt. Obviously, Azerite gear doesn't, and then your cloak and your neck don't. So it's only so many slots that do.
So you have the the legendary cloak.
Legendary
anyway.
cloak, yep.
Yeah.
So, but that's the weird sticking point. Everything else for 8.3 so far that I've heard, the new Mythic Plus affix, apparently very fun. The World Quest lesser vision cycle, not that great, but the new horrific visions with the mask sort of end game loop. Rewards aren't that great, but actually the content itself in your solo or small group or 5-man, very challenging, very fun. I've heard from the early assessments of it. So there's always good. And I have only done the World Quest and the lesser vision stuff. I haven't done it. Didn't do a greater yet.
They're okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's Mage Tower level excitement, but I think the problem was I had like a maxed out cloak when I did it, so I was like kind of the best I can be. Yeah. But I did try it, you know, with the lower thing, and it was a healthy challenge, but I was concerned how much playability it's going to have. Essentially, like you look at 8.2, you got 2 new zones, you got raid, you got a dungeon, you had loads of stuff, and then 8.3 comes in, you have what, like horrific visions, the lesser visions, the invasions, and that's it.
Well, the raid.
Well, yeah, it's the raid. It's both of the new zones. It's both of the new factions.
But I mean, for like your casual player that logs in, you know, just to do casual stuff, you know, I really, really enjoyed Mechanome, like the Mechanome Mechagon Island. Like I thought that was one of the best stuff they've done in years. I really enjoyed logging in and doing all the little daily bits and pieces here and there, and obviously Najtar as well. Kept me busy as someone that doesn't really raid and do Mythic Plus even, just like going in there and collecting all the fun little stuff, you know, around Najtar, like all the rares and stuff like that. Like I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, just that's why I play retail, collecting stuff and killing stuff. It's fun.
I think there's more that we haven't known yet, and again, there's more that probably has to come out eventually. But I'm fun to go back to the old zones, those 2 old zones, and tying more of the world back into the World of Warcraft, because Blizzard has a tendency to plop us on a new island every expansion, and everything else is forgettable, and we never go back to anything else. It's just like, there's the new island, and you stay here for 2 years. So integrating that back into the game slowly is fun. But
well, that's kind of the thing with a lot of the leaks, isn't it? Like a lot of them say about world revamp, and I think that's something that people have been talking about for a long time.
Yeah.
Something that needs to be done as well. I think the problem with that, like the problem with the game at the moment, is like the continuity of the story is just completely all over the place. And they need to go back to a time like to bring about the classic, I guess. Classic didn't have an overarching story essentially in each zone. So like with Cataclysm, every zone talks about Deathwing, every zone talks about the Cataclysm and stuff like that. And in Classic, there's no like big overarching story, and that's what they need to go back to on retail, because I love the way that retail do their questing, the quest tech and everything like that with phasing and cutscenes and all that kind of jazz is really awesome. But yeah, just having like very local based stories, like you go to like the wetlands and the story is the Dark Iron are invading or whatever, you know, that just keep it like that kind of stuff is better, because that's timeless essentially. Whereas the Deathwing stuff, because Deathwing's now dead, it's a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's what they kind of need to do. But again, like a world revamp is so much work. It is thousands of quests, and stuff like that. So it's a real pain for them to do, and I'm sure they regretted it in the Cataclysm, because it's just they had to do the whole world revamp, then the Cataclysm zones as well, and then all the raids and everything. So it was probably just so much work. It was unbelievable, but.
Halinka,
I mean, they could pull it off.
Halinka's tweet was super hype.
He was saying, about the stuff the WoW team have been doing.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Well, that's promising, but you have to remember also, Halinka, when he was putting Ashran back in as an epic battleground, he was like as happy as a kid just on Christmas. He was so jazzed about that. It was wonderful, but not necessarily relatable to the wider audience.
Right.
Oh, Wintercross was a good one. Enjoyed that.
But I think it's a lot of work. I mean, chat's catch up with me, right? A lot of work, but bringing back the zones, the latest patches, but re-centralizing the world, we'll see if they undertake something of that nature. And it just depends, though, because we're going to get that same kind of feeling about knowing where we're going to be going before we actually complete the steps to get there. So it's always a weird every other BlizzCon now will be essentially told where we're going. Knowing that essentially now, like it'll remove some of the tension. It's sort of that movie moment where you know the main characters never die in a film, so whenever they get into scraps, they're not in danger. They're gonna totally make it out. So there's no tension there. There's no what's gonna happen kind of moment. But
I think when BFA was announced, they were already in 7.3. So we were already kind of like, we already knew what was going on. But this is like probably the first time where we're not really sure on what's going on, to be honest. Like, we don't even know, like, 8.3.5 is confirmed. I think the way they'll probably announce it is be like, this is 8.3, you know, just to reiterate, this is everything that's coming in that. 8.35, but also, bang, you know, massive cinematic and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah,
if they... getting hyped.
Ian wants another mic drop moment, I think, because I thought that his transition when he took over during Legion and that into Legion into BFA were two big steps for sort of his ship that he was sailing. But obviously there have been a lot of great things. The storytelling in this expansion, no matter what you say, has been awesome when it's all tied together and everything. But obviously the systems is what gets people all sticky and the icky. And it's not fun when all you're caring about is Azerite gear sucks and AP power farm sucks and essences on no alts is bad and it's stupid. There's always things that gets you stuck in the mud. So we'll have to see if they want to wipe that all away.
It's definitely had some bad press, this expansion, for sure.
Yeah. So
I'm surprised. I'm happy they kept going with it though. What are we 8? They didn't just give up like what?
Well, F's in chat for Warlords of Draenor. Only thing good about it was the initial like month of garrisons and then raiding, and then that was it for like 2 years.
The questing was good.
Yeah, the questing, and the cinematics, and the storytelling was always it's good. Art team always doing great stuff, carrying the game essentially. F's. So I'll wheel it back to BlizzCon then. Hazel, on the spot right now, do you have any amazing moments or embarrassing stories that you could share from your past experiences at BlizzCon, either at the convention or like making a video or doing something in your own little content circle or on your stream, something like that? Share us.
Circle. Okay. Last year, it was my first year going, and I was terrified because I didn't know anybody. I still, to this moment, today is very big for me because I don't talk much to people, so I'm just having a great day.
You gotta go Korean barbecue with us. Danny coming?
I've never been. I walked past a Korean barbecue place today. I was like, oh, everyone keeps talking about it. I think you spoke about it when we were at the Method event.
We're dragging this one with the green hair to it, all right? So anyway,
it speaks to how much I want to go that I'm down despite the fact that I don't eat meat.
Oh, that's fine.
So I don't know what I'll find to eat, but we'll figure it out.
There'll be vegetarian options.
There. Yeah. But yeah, no, last year I was so afraid to go because I didn't know anybody. I wasn't gonna have any friends. I didn't have any parties to go to. I just didn't know like what the experience was gonna be outside of getting to a panel and watching it. And meeting other people in the press line and having the willingness of the community to adopt me like a lost dog was just the most moving and touching thing I've ever experienced. And I'm really excited to see a lot of those people again this year and meet new people and make new friends. And that's really the reason why I think I will always go to BlizzCon, despite the fact that it costs prohibitive amounts of money, even if you don't have to fly far. I can't even imagine if you're flying across the pond. And then, of course, it's much harder we can't just, sit home and pump out 17 videos and get that sweet ad money. I think it's still worth it because then you can, having that moment where you can connect with other creators and with fans and with random people who have no idea what you do, but they're all there for Blizzard stuff is something that I would never miss. And I didn't really believe in it until I saw it. So that was the most special thing about last year, aside from getting into somebody else's Uber and then having to jump out of it after throwing money at the guy because he wanted me to pay him and I didn't know how because he wasn't my driver and I'd accidentally gotten into the front seat because I had never taken one before and didn't know what to do and the seat was pushed all the way forward.
Oh my
God. I had my knees in my chest and I'm just throwing money at him trying to get off close to where I was going and then traveling's tough, so this year's going to be better.
Yeah, we'll drag you around. It's fine. Dan and I know the ropes.
Adopt me, please.
This is my 6th, I think. I think 6th. It's 6th or 7th. It's been almost every single year now for a while. I want to say 6 years in a row. This will be my 6th. So it's not a problem. I've got a house with a whole bunch of my subs in my community. We got some people that are flying over the pond to come to the house for their first time. Kin's in chat. She's also a little Brit that's coming across the way. You beat her over here though, Dan. So how was the trip? Let her know how the trip was. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was really long and really boring.
Yeah.
And we flew over the North Pole, which was nice, but you won't do that if you'd fly direct, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
No, it's just long. It's actually really nice. I love flying, and I had this in Vegas as well, where you fly over Nevada, and you've got if you go during the day, you see all the views of all the mountains and stuff like that. It's pretty unbelievable. So we haven't got anything like that in the UK. We've got tea and biscuits. That's about it.
So then, what is your amazing moment or embarrassing story from past BlizzCon, Stan?
Well, obviously, amazing moment would be 2017. I'm sitting there with my mod Ryan at the time, and they had I think it was just when the Overwatch League had started, and we walked into for the opening ceremony. They had these big bits of paper that you could write on to support your Overwatch team. So he wrote legacy servers or something. No, he put pristine servers, Omega lol, legacy servers, smiley face or something, right? For the crowd in the Mythic stage. Obviously, had no idea that Classic was being announced. So we're just sitting there, and they obviously come out with BFA. Then JL and Brett comes out, starts talking about ice cream. I'm thinking, ice cream Citadel, maybe a time walking ice crown. That would be pretty cool. I'm thinking, oh yeah, nice. He's tap me, he goes, Dan, it's gonna be vanilla. It's vanilla. I'm like, what? And then obviously the Chromie thing. The Chromie thing came up and the crowd went wild and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Embarrassing moment. There was. So I wasn't gonna do this last year. I wasn't gonna do this year, but I am now. The Con Before the Storm thing.
Yeah.
So I went to it in 2017. Last year I did a meet and greet, which you could apply for it or something and do that stuff. Anyway, I'm sitting there and we had a few people come up, which was really cool. But the one person come up was really excited to come in, come over. I was like, oh, cool. Hey, how's it going? They're like, oh, are you a game master or something? I was like, what? I was like, no. And they were like, oh, you don't play Dungeons and Dragons? I was like, no. They were like, oh, and then just walked off. But yeah, that was about it. I was like, oh, well, that was really awkward. And Adam actually mentioned another story. This is really sad. So last year we were standing there for the announcements. They announced the WoW stuff, and we were, and I was with my girlfriend. She was like, "Oh, should we go get a frappuccino then come back in?" I was like, "Yeah," from Starbucks in the Hilton. So we walked down. And they were doing like, I think it was like a StarCraft announcement or something. It's like, we'll be like real quick. We'll just miss that. And said to security guard, I said, "Yo, we're gonna go in here, grab a frappuccino. Is it okay if we come back in?" They were like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." You know, I was like, "Sweet." So we went out, got the frap, walked to the gate. The security had changed, and the guy goes, "No, you can't come in with that." So I'm like, right. And it was a large one as well. So I was like, oh no. So I didn't want to bin it because I just paid like $20 for it. So I sat there with the virtual ticket in Starbucks and watched Warcraft 3 be announced and just cried.
Oh no.
And then we finished the frappuccino, walked in there. I was like, oh, there it is. There's that thing that everyone just went really crazy for that I missed. So yeah, don't do that. You think you do, but you don't. All right, that's the.
Whoa.
Was it good? Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, it was a mocha frappuccino from
Was
Starbucks.
it good?
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's the important one.
Slightly salty. Yeah.
I was scrolling through a little bit there when you were talking about the so Con Before the Storm partnered up with Wowhead, so the party is all smushed together this year. So yeah, there are a whole bunch of meet and greets. I'm in the same bracket as you. We're 6 to 7.
6 7. That's where the legends are.
We gotta make sure. We gotta make sure we stay as far away from Taryn, Gregory, and Diva as possible because they are icky sticky. Yeah, get away from those people. No, actually, get
Hazel?
right next to them. Hazel is right after us, 7 to 8.
Awesome.
I was actually looking at this. This picture of you has red hair.
Yeah, I've been around the rainbow.
Yeah, you are up there. You've got Chad and Roberto.
It's gonna be awesome. Actually, they sent an email of the layout of the stuff. It's really different to last year.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a huge party.
There's no actual, because I thought it was gonna be like, because I know Wowhead and Con Before the Storm like linked together, but I thought there was still gonna be like a dance floor and all that kind of stuff, but there isn't. From the looks of it and kind of the replies on Twitter that I got. But I mean, it's still cool. You still get the meet and greet. You got I think it's the, what is it? Claw machines and stuff. And then there's loads of like the art there is absolutely incredible. Last year, funnily enough, because mine was 10 till 11, which is when it finished, they were giving away the art at the end because no one claimed it. So I got like this awesome print of like Ashara, and then I think another one was Gul'dan, and I just took it and put him. They were just like, you can have this. I was like, really? So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's on my wall now. So yeah, it's awesome. Definitely, like, if anyone in the chat's going to BlizzCon, I definitely recommend going to Con Before the Storm because it is such a fun time, and it's free. You don't even need a ticket this year. Like, you don't even because last year it was free, but you needed a ticket for the Wowhead party at least. This time it's just rock up, second floor Hilton. You'll see it. You'll know that there are fans of World of Warcraft there and various other Blizzard properties. Very easy to spot.
Really excited to check out the rest of the party this year because last year I was almost late for my meet and greet because I didn't know how to get in the building because, like I said, I'm a mess. I ended up like walking around. I don't know how I missed the entrance of the Hilton. In hindsight, that was exceptional. But I managed to walk around the entire building and get lost in the parking garage and then have to like power walk my way to make it. And then I had to leave right after, so I didn't get to see the rest of it. And I want to check out everything else in the art and the claw machines and other people's meet and greets. Like, it's a shame that there's no way to meet and greet the other meet and greeters because you look at your time slot and you're like, man, I just want to walk up and down.
Yeah. It's like Taliesin said, I think he said he had a meet and greet with Terran and he really wanted to speak to Terran, but he didn't the whole meet and greet because he was obviously just meet and greeting, so he didn't get a chance to do it, which is a shame really. Because I only spoke to him very, very briefly before, but he's, the stuff he does is absolutely incredible, him and his team. But Mia mentioned the DJ at the Hilton.
No.
Can't forget that, of course. Absolute legend. The best.
I don't know who told them.
I love the dancing. Honestly, I could sit there all night and watch people dance. It is just absolutely incredible. And it's so loud.
We just all need to carry around Post-it notes and pens so we can write to each other just to have any idea what's going on. I do way too much nodding and looking agreeable because I have no idea what people are saying to me.
Yeah.
We saw a family, because it's obviously the lobby, isn't it? It's where people check in. We saw a family turn up for their holiday. And that was the lobby. It was like kids and like a little baby and stuff. I'm like, oh my god.
Because Disneyland's right up the road, so people are doing their Disney vacations there.
Yeah. That is true. But I think we will integrate some. I mean, we already been talking to chat a little bit here, but if chat has any questions, of course, then we will integrate them for a moment. But we're a little over time. I'm not gonna like shut you guys up though. But I'm gonna take a moment here real quick to jibber jab, and then we can talk directly to chat, of course. So if you have any questions for Hazel or Mr. GM, then save those for just a moment. However, I want to make sure I have a big shout out right here in the middle of the show to all those that are supporting the show on the stream and everything in between directly over on the show's Patreon page. There is more of the show. Of course, when all of the spec shows continue to roll out, there are the additional BTS podcasts. Z has been contacting you if you are in the tier for the multiple different shirts right now. The crew shirt is coming back, and if you are eligible to customize one, then you will be contacted. It's in your Patreon inbox. And then, of course, your Tutron avatar faces that are being commissioned as well. Those are there. So check your inboxes if you're at one of those tiers. But, of course, you can support what I do here directly. Link is, of course, down below the stream or on YouTube. But the show notes go up there. The BTS podcasts go up there. We'll have a little bit of a wrap down with my guests even today if you want more. Granted, there's still half an hour or so more of the live show. But if you just want more, There's 315 posts, and then all of these. If you want to know how the show gets put together and follow along with the show notes, then that is there. But of course, additionally, huge shout out yet again. I think she's still in chat, so you can at her if you'd like to, or don't. She might bite your ankles at BlizzCon. But thank you very much to Wowhead for supporting the show and making sure I can keep doing these specials. But I brought over this at the beginning of the show here. I didn't know this until I was poking around. The news type feature on Wowhead, you can actually just filter if you want to look at certain things that are coming out. So I imagine if you leave just the Blizzard filter when BlizzCon gets going, all the coverage that Wowhead will be doing from all the different games, all the new releases, all of the dev interviews across the board, their entire team will be doing that. So you can just toggle off everything and leave the Blizzard tab on. And you'll be able to keep up with all of the goings on at the convention. If you're not there, or you obviously can't keep with everything else, all of their articles will keep going out. There have been some digging in already that Wowhead's been doing, but I'm sure more and more will be happening soon and within the next couple of days. And I'm sure more leaks are going to happen before it comes up. So go check out Wowhead for any of those. And last but not least, of course, another big shout out to who is supporting the show and the stream and everything in between now with stuff like this that's on my head or the guts in my PC is Corsair and Elgato. When I get back from BlizzCon, I will be doing that huge, gigantic room studio build with new desk, new PC, double PC setup. I've got my Go XLR set. I've got so much stuff from Corsair. I've got fan, got a mouse pad, got memory, got a power supply, got my new liquid cooling, got a new tower. Yep, we've got storage. Absolutely. We've got all the stuff. The new case, the new keyboard, mice, headset, all this stuff. I may or may not really enjoy Corsair stuff. And of course, I've got my Elgato capture cards. I've got my 4K ready to go. I've got my capture deck. I've got my stream deck. I've got my key lights coming in. I don't know if I'm going to do the new green screen because I have the regular floor-based one, but you never know. I might just upgrade to the big one. But that is all linked down below, of course. And we do have a free shipping, free standard shipping, and 10% off code. Finally, this wasn't a thing before. We couldn't actually do any of this. It was just a referral link, but now there actually is that affiliate link there that I can save you some money on your Corsair peripherals or your Elgato gear if you're doing stuff for Christmas around the corner. Obviously, the largest sale takes precedent, but if you still go through my link, it'll still support me here, right here. And then the joke that I always say is that if you want to take my dumb face and 5-head and put it on a Corsair product and take Bajira's beautiful face off of one, the choice is yours. I wouldn't do that, though. I wouldn't do that. He's too handsome of a man. So, old what? Don't you have the things? Maybe. I have some things. But we have some questions. I have canned questions. Dan,
Excellent.
Are you and Hazel ready for canned questions?
I love canned questions.
Down.
This is a question from
I've just been admiring your hair. It's just so.
Mine?
Oh, you should. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's too short.
So glorious.
I don't know, man. It needs like another extra like half an inch. They took off too much. Make me self-conscious. Well, I'll have to ask this question first, just because it's in chat, and I know I'm putting down on the spot here.
No. Here it comes.
So, Big Dan.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going to pay Sage for all the work he's done for you?
Look, he just comes to me like a crazy person, and he's like, "I'm gonna do you a rebrand." I'm like, he goes, "It's annoying me that your stuff," because he made the stuff before,
yeah,
and it annoyed him that he'd got so much better at doing it, so he wanted to change it, so he did. But like, that was literally last year at BlizzCon, because he did the business cards for me, and I had to go to Staples and go get business cards while I was there. And I got like 250 of them, and then I changed my logo. So now they're all completely pointless. So now I got new ones. Got a little thing here. If you ever see me at BlizzCon, I can give you one of these.
Oh,
shit! Which again he did probably for free. But yeah, they're like actual cards, like real card, not paper. Fancy. But yeah, no. He just does these things, and he's a legend. So guys, shout out to Graphics by Sage. He does work for free if you.
That was some politician level spin of that question. That was masterful. It was so good.
he just went to the Baylor School of Clickbaiting YouTube.
Yes, he does Baylor's thumbnails. If anyone was wondering, they're very cool.
Oh my gosh, that was an Ian level handling of that question. Ooh.
I mean, if you want like a one-word answer, the words never.
Oh, well, there you go, Sage. Feels bad, man.
Do you know how expensive it is to come here? It's not a cheap experience, okay? As Hazel said, it's very, very expensive. So, yeah, 24-hour streams are coming.
I've never seen a bus run over someone so fast in my life. Oh, no.
Great question, by the way. Really relevant.
Oh, of course. I have to keep relevant. But yeah, so
what if he wasn't in the chat?
He submitted this question to me when I pinged my Discord, so it was going to be asked anyway.
Of course he did.
Yeah. Well, how about you want a relevant question then?
Go for it.
How many waifus is too many?
I don't even know what that is. Is it me? What is it? Weebow? Weebow, you and Martin? Was it you and Martin? I think it was, wasn't it? Oh, the worst. I don't even know what that is. What is it?
Hazel, how many waifus is too many?
I mean, if you're referring to like a wife, I guess it's like a adultery. I don't really know. Like, what is this?
Once you got 3, you've gone too far.
I'm going to Google it.
3?
Yeah.
3's respectable.
It really depends on how committed you are.
Okay.
It depends on how into this you are. Because if you're just like casually doing it, then
what the hell?
But if you've got the pillows and you're introducing her at parties,
oh gosh,
you should really keep it to just the one.
This is
a fictional female character from a non-live action visual media, typically an anime or manga or video game, to who one is attracted to. Well, 0 is the answer.
Well, it's like an imaginary friend, but with artwork and inappropriate feeling.
How many did you have, Bay?
Well, this is an old question. I brought this up with Cox and Krendor last pre-BlizzCon. So that was an important one, mostly themed at the fact that Jesse actually has like the Gentleman's Hentai Club is like a real legitimate podcast that he makes. So I had to ask the official gentleman about how many waifus is too many. And he said you can never have enough waifus. So.
No, it's incorrect. Why is this such a mainstream thing? It's so... Why is everyone so casual about this?
Did you just get on the internet today? What's up?
Yeah, I know. Are you new here?
I just... You know, I've already told you, all I do is play WoW and apparently mobile games. That's all I do.
Yeah, don't see. You got a dog on me for the waifu question. You're like, yeah, but I'm playing mobile Call of Duty. Haha.
Look. Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah. So then.
So no is the 0 is my answer. Unfortunately,
all right,
sorry
fine.
to disappoint. I know you've got many clearly.
Hazel, what is your favorite battle pet and why?
What? Why'd you get a lovely question? I don't get that.
It's hard to give a fun answer to that, though, just because I think I thought about it, and I feel like if I'm picking just one, I pick the Green Wing Macaw, because that was my first one that got me into pet collecting. But the issue with them now is there's so many. I have, and I'm not even a top 1% collector. I have like 1,100 odd unique pets. And when you have that many, you can't give love to that many children. You can't have the same emotional connection with them. I get a new pet and I'm like, wow, this is a really amazing model. I love the colors. I'm never going to see it again. I don't have any cause to pull this thing out. I don't remember what its name is. You want me to try and find a good breed of this thing? There's just too many. So I think it's time for us to have a system where we can throw all of our duplicates and reskins into some kind of grinding machine to level up the pets that we want to keep. You know, let us pare down our collection and make the remaining ones more meaningful because we chose for them to survive. There's got to be some way to just like reduce the number bloat, because the only thing they can really seem to do for the pet community is just keep chucking more pets at us. And it's lovely, but I feel like I'm getting to the point where I've been oversaturated and I don't know what to do with another 200 moths. So if I can't sacrifice them to N'Zoth in like a fire or something, I don't really know what my plan is.
You want to turn them into candy?
Sure, yeah, kind of. I'm down. I also, if you've ever played Black Desert Online, there's a horse breeding system that's really interesting where you're capturing, I see your face, you're capturing horses in the world. And horses in that game, they get better at higher tiers. Like they're actually faster. They have more combat abilities. They improve as opposed to just being a flat speed bonus. So what you do is you can go and tame many horses and you can buy horses and breed them together. And when you breed together horses, you squish them together and they die to create a new horse. Like the parents are done. They're gone. They don't exist anymore. But in that way, you can kind of like color breed. So I would really love for something like that to be into WoW mounts or WoW pets, where you're collecting wild pets, not for the sake of I'm going to have this rusty snail and it's going to be my rusty snail forever, because that's unrealistic emotionally. But instead, you're working towards some kind of goal that still involves you going out and collecting all of them, mounts or pets, but has you paring down your collection to a more reasonable number. And they'll never do it because we're too attached to our collection. But it's just there's so many.
Do you feel like they neglect pet battles? Because they haven't increased the level cap since when? Like since it came out?
I don't think they neglect pet battles, no. They're adding a new pet dungeon in 8.3. They've got the Blackrock Depth pet dungeon. They've fairly steadily been adding new tamers and new challenges and achievements and pets to collect, as well as dungeon content.
That's very true.
And that's the only thing they can do, because if they add a higher level cap and you want me to take my 11,069 level 25 pets and level them all another 5 levels, I'm going to have some words for you at BlizzCon. So,
no, that's true. That's true. My brother was a pet collector in vanilla TBC and Wrath. And that it was up to TBC. You couldn't learn pets; you just have to have them. And his bags were absolutely horrendous. He always got so lucky as well. I remember like the I think it's the whelp. This is back in vanilla. There was I don't know if it still drops there. There was like a whelp in wetlands that you could get from killing the whelps there, and he got it the first time. Yeah, the first time he killed one, he got one. When he went to go farm it, he was like, oh, I'm going to go farm this now. Got it first time. And he still has, I think he still has more pets than me. But I think like the cool, you know, when they brought in the whole like pet battle thing, and obviously like all the critters around the world became pets and stuff like that, it kind of got really crazy. And you ended up with like loads of duplicates, as you said, that look exactly the same. But I guess it's kind of similar to mounts, where like all the pretty much a lot of the best looking ones are on the store, unfortunately.
I'll fight you on that.
What do you think?
We can have words about that.
I'm trying to rattle my brain on what pet battle stuff, like what battle pets are on now, because all I can think of is like stuff like Disgusting Noosling or like the oh man, there's like the whelps and stuff like that. I think like have you seen the new Nefarian whelp coming in 8.3?
We get that for that's actually
8.5.
It's a segue. I was going to bring the anniversary event, which happens after BlizzCon, which brings back the apparently the original multi-hour to potentially multi-day old school Alterac Valley with both mounts relative to the Horde and the Alliance side there, the Wolf and the Ram, as well as the sort of boss rush Chromie scenario where we go through 3 different expansions worth of their most pivotal bosses, 9 bosses in a row. And we get the pet for logging in, and we get the literal World Breaker Deathwing mount for completing the raid.
Yep.
Ready. I'm ready, man.
It's awesome. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's definitely going to bring people back. If you... I was going to say the actual map layout of the stuff is you're actually going to fight them in the boss rooms, which is really cool. So you'll do like, say Lich King, and then you teleport into the next one sort of thing. And that's going to be really awesome. I don't know if it's going to be as much of a disaster as the MC40 man thing. I hope not.
Just laugh. It was
from the sounds of the press release and stuff that they brought out was that it's going to be through LFR, like actually on the Dungeon Finder and stuff like that. Which I was unsure if they were going to do that, but yeah, apparently that's what they're doing with that. But yeah, no, the Nefarian Whelp looks cool. The Deathwing mount is awesome, but I thought it was like a spawn of Deathwing or something, but it is literally just Deathwing.
Well, it's the pet or the mount.
The mount.
The mount is like the Purify. Yeah, it's the Obsidian Worldbreaker or whatever. Yeah, but it's like not old god icky.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it looks great, and the whelp looks really cool as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think a lot of people kind of forgot about it as well because it is coming literally next month.
Yep.
I don't know what date, like November 16th. Maybe?
I heard 16th, but I couldn't find that verified anywhere official. They just announced it so long ago. They unveiled this thing really early. So I feel like people got really, really excited about it, but it's hard to stay that excited for this many months.
Yeah, I think it's going to bring a lot of people back. I'm definitely going to do it. I can't wait. Like fighting Lich King and stuff is going to be awesome. I wonder if it'll drop loot. That's a real question. I wonder if it'll drop like random new pieces of gear which are like the same from Lich King and who what are the other bosses? Is it Kil'jaeden? They did release a list somewhere.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to dig up I have the actual like anniversary thread on Wowhead here with the Obsidian Worldbreaker and stuff of that nature. So it's the memory of the Burning Crusade is Kael'thas, Lady Vosh, Old School Archimond. Wrath of the Lich King is Hagen, the Unclean.
Random.
Dancing, it's the dancing boss.
Yep.
Anubarak and the Lich King.
Yeah.
Anubarak from Crusader.
I would imagine it'd be Trial of the Crusade, yeah, because it's Nax, Crusade, and
Why
Ice
is
Crown.
it not Lord Draxus?
Interesting choice.
Yeah, and then Cataclysm is Cho'Gall, Nefarian, and Legnaros himself.
Wagnerwels?
Yep. I don't think it's going to be the heroic version, though.
No vanilla, then.
No, it's just Burning Crusade, Wrath, Cataclysm. It's the first 3 expansions, not vanilla. That's well, what's coming from vanilla is the original. It's the original version of Alterac Valley.
Oh yeah, of course. Did you see the new high res mounts?
Yeah. No, I
pretty jazzy. I like them.
They're pretty good looking. I mean, they're the same mounts that we got back in the day. I don't even know if I can look at.
They got new models and stuff.
Yeah, you can pull them up in 3D.
Do view in 3D.
Yep.
There's your button.
Just way rezzed versions of the old mounts. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Compared to what they used to be.
Yeah, it should be fun. Bring people back into PvP as well. So
I just wonder if, because I'm going to be the PvE player in the PvP, I'm going to go want to get like the cavalry charge and like sneak into the mines and get the infantry upgraded and stuff like that, the old stuff, which you can do, say, like in the Warfront right now. That system exists in the Warfronts, but it doesn't make a difference. But you get a cavalry charge in AV, that's a big deal.
They will summon those bosses. That's what you want to do.
Well, you have to push down the Field of Strife to control the middle, so you can then have the druids walk out to summon Ibis or the horde to get them to summon what's his face, the stupid rock guy. Don't care.
Speaking of, I guess, kind of off topic a tiny bit, but the speaking of Warfronts, there's actually a map file for PvP Warfronts in A3.
Yeah. Well, it's
there you go.
Wasn't there one tied to Orgrimmar?
No. Well, yeah, there was a Baron's Warfront thing, but the actual they called it a Arathi. Let me find the actual name. Get this stuff up. Yeah, because there's like a file in the game which has like all the list of maps and stuff that they used and don't use. So it is officially called 8.3 Epic Battleground Warfront Arathi PvP. Now
that might be the thing that is needed to finally make Warfronts fun. Because someone's going to lose. So it's an option.
Yeah, so you don't always win if it's a PvP.
Well, Heroic Warfronts was kind of that, really, but, you know.
Have you ever lost one?
With a pug, yeah, I have.
Really?
That was when they first came out, though. I'm sure everyone just...
This is the mount I'm showing off on screen, by the way. It's real good. For a dragon mount. Cool.
Yeah, there's some, like, on the press release, there's actually some, like, nice videos and stuff like that, which are really cool. But I think that was in the video preview anyway. I'm sure Wowhead have that on there, no doubt. But the PvP Warfronts, need to tweet that out, actually. I remember finding that. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Actually, no, I think I did. There you go. There it is. It's so on the head as well. Epic Battleground. Not even just like, not even called like Warfront or Raffi. It literally is called like Epic Battleground as well.
Really?
So it'd be interesting to see what that ends up being like. But it's too little too late though. Let's be honest.
Well, you sort of answered this earlier in the show, but you were asking for other questions. Dan, so I have another question for you if you're ready.
Go.
What level are you in Classic right now?
60. Yep. Level 60.
I'm only level 23, but I haven't really played too much in the last couple of weeks.
56.
So. 56. I mean, hey,
6.
you can rate Molten Core now.
I'm attuned to Molten Core.
Oh, yeah, there you go. The game's over. You're done.
Yeah, done it.
You
No,
won.
I die a lot. And I picked a warrior. It's funny, I played a rogue on the beta, had the best time of my life, and then decided to go warrior for some reason. And then, yeah, look, I even have an emote for when I die. Gets so much use.
Oh, it's just a spirit healer?
It's just a spirit healer. And yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of rough. And it's funny, like we were obviously doing the world first thing, and they got to 60 in like a week. And I'm 2 months in, I'm still not 60. But I haven't been rushing, you know. I've just been kind of doing the questing and professions, and we just go on such tangents on the stream as well. We end up talking about biscuits and tea and stuff like that. So we don't get a lot done, let's just say. But I play way more efficiently when I'm not streaming, because I'm just like kind of playing, and I feel like I die less as well. I don't know. Like when I was doing the 8.3 stuff on stream, and I felt it was like a million times easier to stream because I could just read the chat, and my dude would just be killing stuff and just like, oh cool, and I'll just be reading the chat. But with Classic, you really have to focus, otherwise you're just gonna die.
You gotta pay attention.
Yeah,
that is true. Have you seen, speaking of the Classic sort of dying a lot segue, have you seen the other leaked images from apparently the demos of 9.0 where we're level 60 again?
Really? There's pictures? I haven't seen anything like that. No.
There is.
I know level squish is like kind of one thing we're probably gonna get. Let's be honest. Hopefully with a talent revamp as well, which would be kind of neat. But we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think a level squish is kind of needed at this point. But is it just going to be another one of those fake leaks? As I said before the stream, I'm going to make a fake leak, and it's going to be out real soon. Oh, this one.
this one is pretty real. I mean, this is hard to fake. I would say this is not hard to fake.
No.
Well, I'll bring it up on stream because this is other leaks. It's just fun, right? This is the other leak that came out.
It's not really. You could even do this with like add-ons and stuff like that. There's like a thing, the way that it works, but I mean, it's kind of neat. It's either Photoshop or they've actually done it in game and messed around with like the game files and stuff, which is definitely possible. I would say Photoshop seems like an easier option for something like this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing like, and I find like with leaks and stuff, if you're actually looking at like a new zone or some new art assets like inside the game, then yeah, that's a little bit more legit. But like stuff like that, when it's just like placeholder canvas at a time and like just changing the words every like here and there, it's like super easy. But like if you're actually looking at like a brand new city or some sort of like crazy artwork or something like that, then yeah, that's a bit harder to fake, which is one of the ones that I think one that came out literally as I landed. I was looking on my phone. There was one for like Shadowlands, which was like a really cool looking brown and white WoW logo, which looked incredible with this other concept art underneath it, and all the way that they laid out the piece of artwork or the piece of whatever it was for, promotional, looked really cool. And I'm sure it's floating around Twitter here and there. But yeah, I think some people have kind of been a bit lazy about the leaks, and some people have been like really got on it. There was that Shadowlands map. And people were trying to convince me it was real. They were like, they had a projector. I'm like, yeah, but so do school teachers. So projectors are so normal now. It's not like a huge thing. Like people just project stuff on walls, just take a picture. Yeah, it's so real. And the way that they drew the map was just like, just the way that they know that Blizzard draw maps before they make them into actual maps and stuff. They kind of did their homework on it, but it's definitely not real.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. It's just funny. I think the one thing I always take away from leaks, and fake leaks or real leaks, again, if you are just tuning into the show now, from Lucky Toes, Luxos tossed us a host earlier there as well. Don't think I didn't. Yeah, he was on the show just a little while ago. He was on like the state of the BFA show with him and Brutal. But this thread, this giant Google document, if you missed this, I was scrolling through this earlier today. We are at 60 plus leaks for the game right now.
Tweeting out stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, but I'm just saying the fun thing I take away from this kind of stuff is it shows the passion and desire from the community, and in a way, hopefully the Blizzard internal team, they keep up with, like, they see all this stuff, right? The community team finds it, feeds it back to the devs, because not saying all the ideas are good, but there's some damn good ideas in here. There's some fun, neat ideas.
It's like fan fiction.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's inspiring to see that people still care and that people haven't entirely just gone, raffle, let's just play classic forever and never worry about live anymore. Like the fact that people are so mad, verbatim, they have to say it out loud. The fact that people are so mad about corruption is like kind of cute that they care,
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
Yeah.
They still want 8.3 to be good. People are still playing BFA.
Yeah. It's true. They are.
Well, the level squish stuff too. I've read a few things about how, because we had that questionnaire, there was that actual official Blizzard questionnaire came to our email. I filled it out, did the whole thing, because there are ways they tie the story together with how the expansions work, and apparently the scuttlebutt is the whole reorigination actually goes off because of N'Zoth, and the entire world of Azeroth gets reoriginated, which we've been trying to stop multiple times, right? We stopped it in Uldum, we stopped it with in Ulduar. So, and it actually goes off because of what N'Zoth does and the old gods and all this stuff. So it actually gets reset. And that's why we go back to 60, is because literally the story will reset us in a way. So
yeah, there's some people that really want that. But I feel like for collectors, how does that work? Can you still run Ulduar?
Nope, gone. Maybe? I don't know. That's why, again, it's hard to tell. But this is also the thing, too. How about new class speculation? I have always voiced my opinion. I do not want a new class because the game balance state is always as it is, but that's because I care about the higher end stuff. But Tinker has been thrown around. Dark Rangers has some leaked art thrown around.
Of course it does.
Bard, anyone? Brutal? Want a Bard class, Brutal?
Hey, Ryan. Jay the Bard?
Jay the Bard? I think Jay was here earlier. I don't know. Do you have... Hazel, do you have a throw in here? Dan, do you have...
Sure. Fourth spec, some classes I've seen, which I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah.
I like that.
Druids, I think that's hard to do selectively. I imagine they would, because they've shown that they're down to add like heritage armor to just a few classes at a time. They're not too worried about people crying unfair.
Yeah.
But it would be a bit awkward to tack in fourth specs to different classes, and then I feel like a new class is a little more likely. I'm not sold on it. I would really, if they're doing a bard, I don't think that they will, and I think if they do, the only way to do it properly is to make it a spec where your output, your healing or damage, depending on what you're doing, is solely determined by how accurate your vocal performance is into a microphone Guitar Hero style, and your raid has to listen to you. That's the only way to make it good. Otherwise, just trash it. That's good. I would much rather see a Dark Ranger, Shadow Hunter type, even like a Moon Priest thing. Like if you made one class where one spec is Sylvanas and another spec is Vol'jin and the third spec is Tyrande, I just want a ranged DPS. I want a bow user. And aside from that, you could also give me Blood Mages and Sand Lane and I would be down, but I'm not really hyped about Tinkers. I think there'll be probably something though.
Whatever it is, needs to be a ranged class. We've never, ever gotten a ranged class in the history of the game. We've lost one. Never gained one.
That's true.
They, I think they had a lot of teasing with BFA. With the they had the Maghard Death Knights. They had the Tinkers in Island Expeditions. Well, both of those things were in Island Expeditions. And even those Tinkers as well. They had like a fully fleshed out spell list. They had like you go on Wowhead, look up the NPCs for the Tinkers. A lot of them have actual spells that they've kind of created, which have like have resource amounts and stuff like that. So they really have thought about it in that sense. So it kind of, I wouldn't say it's obvious, but I think a lot of people are talking about it, and it kind of makes sense, especially considering we just got the Mechanomes. So yeah, I think it's going to be Tinkers. But I'm curious to see how it works. And as you said, it needs to be a ranged class. If not completely ranged, at least one spec needs to be ranged.
If it was completely up to you, Dan, if you got to all by yourself design the new class and what it's going to do, and nobody gets to say anything to you about it, what do you put in? What do you make?
I kind of like the Tinker idea, but I also want it to be dual wield guns. That's what I want.
Wait, dual wield guns?
Right.
Yeah, like Deadpool.
There
you go. Just it'd be amazing. Awesome class. But I don't know. Like I remember, like pistols. It was, I think it was Taliesin did this video on Tinkers, and he said about like mech forms and stuff like that, similar to like druid forms, but you actually get into those. It got me going. That sounded super exciting. But I mean, I see a lot of people saying about necromancers as well. It's a kind of a cool little fantasy, but we've basically got that with warlocks and death knights.
Yeah, we do.
Which kind of makes that difficult. But
there's also really no necromancers in Warcraft lore. It's been death knights.
Yeah.
But
no, I think
those awful things in island expeditions that kill everybody with bursting bones, are those death knights?
No,
they're kind of death knights.
Yeah, there actually are necromancers in island expeditions. You're right.
Oh, there is. Yeah, you're right. That's that was from Havenswood, I think, originally.
You could because they've shown they're really willing to cannibalize their classes when they just like, did bad things to warlocks and just gave that to demon hunters just because they're willing to do that. So.
It's like
they could take a little necromancer casting class and then slap it onto sort of like so I've played a shadow priest for a really long time, and we sort of had the vampiric blood magey undertones, and they moved away from that once they started moving us more towards the insanity and the corruption and the old gods thing.
Yeah,
we still have vampiric touch and vampiric embrace, but a lot of those sort of health drain and blood type effects were really toned down. Like we no longer have devouring plague. And I think you could take some of that and then some of that necromancer and make a ranged caster that's working with some of the icky gooey stuff. I want it, but I want lots of things.
That's true. No, I mean chat's trying to like correct me with necromancer stuff. I suppose there is the cult of the damned, but like we as players, we've never had anything dealt with them. And again, they're not expeditions, right? But there's been, like, we've played a Tinker before in Warcraft 3. Like, that was a real thing. So that's why it has, we have a Dark Ranger before as you play those characters. We never actually had any interactions with anything Necromancer that isn't, like, just storytelling. So I guess. And then, Kel'Thuzad is a lich. I don't want to fall into that trap. He's a lich. Liches are different than Necromancer.
It's hard to think of, like, new classes and stuff without kind of mimicking other classes. It's like before the world first race for 8.2, I was like testing out different classes to kind of understand at a basic level what they all played like, and I was like, wow, everything is so similar. I was like, you've got your build 'em and spend 'em class, your click the shiny button class, your ranged pet class, your class that has the time walking heroism thing. I was like, wow, that's kind of sad a little bit. I did like Outlaw Rogue though. That really the fantasy for that with the gun and everything like that was really cool, and like being like a cowboy pirate type thing was kind of neat. And I've always liked Death Knights. I've never played one properly. I played one in the Wrath beta, but I've always loved the class fantasy there, and then it turns out that no one plays them in raiding anyway, so that was kind of sad. But I get hyped up for like new Death Knight stuff like we saw with the big swords in 8.3.
I'm just digging into stuff on the other monitor here through what we could eventually see too, because we're about wrap up time. That's the tough part about it, yeah, because it might work like fundamentally. It might work as like a thematic thing, but that's what also is brought up as the whole prestige skin thing, that like the class skins. So the whole necromancer side of things, yeah, it could work as the Death Knight spec for like Unholy to make them look and feel like it, but they only summon like ghouls. It's all they summon. They don't summon anything else. Really.
Fourth spec, yeah, there you go.
Fourth spec. Ah, man.
The same about burning Death Knights now, aren't they? Like fiery Death Knights.
Yeah, but that could be a skin for blood. You know what I mean, or for frost, or for.
I think
whatever.
Class skins you could really go out, and I think as well for like you could collect them as well, which would be awesome. Like do this special thing, you get this class skin sort of thing. You could really you could add that into a whole nother level of gameplay right there. Be sick.
If you let me class skin my Shadow Priest, like especially after we defeat N'Zoth, into a Blood Mage and lean more into the vampiric influences, I would be the happiest lady ever. Because I don't need it to be another class.
Yeah. I mean, essentially all it would be is like, you know, just like different logos, different animations, but make sure it just plays exactly the same. Like the animations are the same amount of time and stuff like that. Like essentially from like a design point of view, it's not a ton.
You could have your insanity be like a blood frenzy, like a shark.
Just make it work exactly the same, just like different names and colors and whatever. People love that. I'd love it. Be awesome.
That's the one thing that needs to come with the evolution of the game. I think a lot more cosmetic and social systems hopefully get involved. We also need these in the game. Don't let this die, chat. Don't let that. That's important. But that's true. I mean, yeah, you brought up again the skin thing is interesting. I hope they don't add a ton more specs because it's just
gets messy.
There's already a lot, and there's already the continuous discussion about everything is homogenized and everyone does the same thing. And if you don't bring this very specific buff or debuff or thing, then you don't get brought to content. It's the whole community perception thing. If you add a whole bunch more specs, that's only gonna get worse, right? So that's the tough thing about it. We'll see. That's a lot going on, but we have a lot to look forward to. Of course, we have Diablo 4, Diablo 2 remaster, most likely a thing, Diablo Immortal, Overwatch Chapter 2 or whatever. Probably a Hearthstone expansion, I would imagine, because Hearthstone expansion. We just got Deathwing and HOTS as an announcement, so maybe they won't announce anything specific for heroes at BlizzCon. StarCraft 2, probably the same thing. They might announce like a new commander, not at BlizzCon, just as like a side kind of a bit. New expansion for WoW. And new IP, most likely.
TBC.
Oh, we didn't really talk about that. That was an earlier follow-up question about if they were going to do like Classic Plus or TBC or Wrath servers eventually.
I think they do both.
They'll do both?
Oh, yeah.
Both, huh?
Depends. Depends how dead Classic is in a couple of years.
Well, I mean, or right now, layers are almost all removed, so every server only holds...
For the most part, but they're still pretty busy, you know. Yeah. Classic's still bustling.
No, I'm not saying it isn't, but it's like 3,000 3,000 is max pop, somewhere around there, right, per server?
Yeah, they kind of move the goalposts here and there, but yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Classic stuff at all. That was last year.
There's a lot.
I'm excited for some new retail stuff. Give me something fun.
I'm excited. I mean, we can talk all about it in person. We got to get T&E and Mike and you and Hazel and everyone else in our little squish and just go to Korean barbecue on Sunday night and just detox it all out and talk about it.
Oh, I fly out on Sunday morning.
Oh, we fly out Sunday morning. When, Dan, you leave Monday?
Monday.
Frick. We'll have to do a separate dinner or lunch with Hazel then. We'll make it happen.
We'll bring it to Calm Before the Storm. To your meet and greet.
Oh, we'll just bring it to you, yeah.
The veggie cream barbecue.
Yeah.
You just bring me some cabbage.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, all right, Dan, round us out. A little bit of soapbox time. Plug what you need to plug if you would like to. Say what you need to say. Speak your final moments. This is you.
Yeah. So YouTube, just search Mr.GM. Do like speculation based on data mining, looking at new models, doing all that kind of fun stuff. Streaming twitch.tv/Mr.GM. That's where we're at. Partnered streamer. There I am in the chat doing an amazing emote. If you click that emote, you can actually press the follow button. For some reason, Twitch don't do it where you can follow from the name. Anyway,
don't click the dab.
Also on Twitter /MrGMYT. And that's about it. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. If you use that, I'm also there. You can just search that. But yeah, that's me. That's where you want to find me. Click the dab. That's it. Yeah, click the dab. Click the ring faces. Press that follow button. It'd be very much appreciated. Twitch Prime, by the way, please. I need a pay Sage.
I need a pay Sage. Oh no! And Hazel, take us out. Same thing.
All right. The important ones are Twitch and YouTube. Everything else, don't worry about it. I'm weirdly afraid of annoying people if I like tweet, so I don't. But Twitch, I stream very often, very short streams. So twitch.tv/HazelNuttyGames. I'll put an emote in the chat as well for clicking. I do a bunch of whatever. That's a nice time. Also, I do YouTube, and if you're in the market for like a guide, you're confused about how to get the B mount, you want raid guides. I do raid guides, actually. I'm doing a set for the Nyalotha raid coming up pretty soon. So also YouTube, HazelNuttyGames. We do videos every Friday talking about news, and that's the important stuff. Nothing else really matters. Nobody cares about my Instagram. Nothing on there.
I love your raid guides. They're literally the best. They're like so short and easy to watch. It's the best. We watched a ton of those when we did a viewer run once. It was handy.
Gosh.
Yeah, Gorek even shouting that out too. Her EP raid guide videos were fantastic. Oh,
they really are. They're just so short and just like to the point. It just nails it.
Do this, don't stand in that.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Perfect. As long as the cat's in the video sometimes too. Is your cat there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get the cat in there.
All right. That's the important stuff. All right. I'm going to click this button because it is time. So thank you all very much for tuning into episode number 200. We kind of went all over the place. That's kind of how these shows go. But yes, 2 hours just dissolved. That's what happens. But again, thank you very much for tuning in. Big shout out again to Wowhead for making the show possible today. And then my sponsors at Corsair and Elgato. Links are down below. If you missed the live show itself, due to the fact that I'm leaving on Tuesday, which will sound weird days from now on YouTube, but it's fine. The YouTube cut will be going up maybe even tonight, which is it's an unheard of thing, or tomorrow with the iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music version of the audio only, and as well as we're going to wrap down here in a little bit for patrons. You get a little bit extra. That'll be over on Patreon as well. But around the table, yet again, that was Hazel. Again, she just did all the things, but again, that's HazelNuttyGames on the YouTube. One of the longest. I'm at character limit for your YouTube URL. It's a long name. It all fits.
HazelNuttyGames?
Yes. Well, at least it's not.
I think you can have long names.
Nobody's
ever bothered me about it.
No, have you seen T&E's YouTube? Because theirs doesn't have a custom URL. It's just garbage for like 40 characters.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
I actually put it on the lower third when they were on the show, though. That was their YouTube URL. That's what it is.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But Hazel's way easier to type in, and I guess I'll see you in a couple of days. That's how this works.
Hell yeah.
You better. I'm holding you to that.
Okay.
I'll be offended if you don't.
They'll be less jet lagged.
And there's Dan. Also YouTube, Mr.GM YT works. Otherwise, it's Mr. Game Reviews.
No,
Mr. Game Master Reviews.
Never was, never is.
No, are you sure?
Someone else.
Okay. Maybe I had the wrong URL in there. My bad.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
But I will also see you in a couple of days, Big Dan.
Yes, sir. I'll be there. Oh, wow. I'm still here. I'm here. I'm keeping it warm.
Yeah, get ready for us. But thank you both for tuning in today. Thank you everyone for watching. And that's that. Have fun at BlizzCon. Watching the virtual ticket. Or if I see you at the convention, definitely come say hi. I'll probably have some of these other nerds around. T&E is there. Mike's there. Nobble's at home being a bum. Bellular's at home being a bum.
He's definitely not being a bum.
He's making like 90 videos a day.
He's ready.
Are you ready? We're going to see a video an hour. I can't wait. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you all later. And until the post-BlizzCon show with Mike and Nobble. Wait. Wave bye at the nice people. Wave. Do the thing. Do the thing. It happened. There it is.
Farewell.